It's 2025, it's February, and guess what? This is Fixing Assets. Welcome to Fixing Assets. First video of Feb, first video of the year, and it's a sit down talk one. Yeah, I've not been in the garage much since last time because Jimny drove me around the bend. Anyway, first video of February, we're looking at the year ahead. The first car we're going to look at is the Jimny. Now, I bought it for two reasons. Number one, I needed a 4x4 for the bad weather. Number two, I needed a workshop car. But it turns out it's been very handy having a modern second car. And it's actually been quite a fun car too. The moment I got it on the road, or at least the moment before I got it on the road, the Kia decided it was going to have a bit of a problem. So it went to the garage. I used that Jimny as my daily car for the best part of 2 weeks after it was through its MOT. And it was brilliant. I've used it on quite a long road trip through Northumberland. Worth having a look at that on the Driven Mad Road Trips channel. It worked quite well as well. But incidentally, it's also been good for what I bought it for. I've taken the back seats out to do the welding. They've not gone back in. And it makes a bloody good van. I've had 3 pickup truck wheels in the boot of the car and taken it up to the lockup. Incidentally, not my pickup truck. So yeah, that's one good thing. And as for the snow, 4th of January, it snowed. It snowed all day. There's about a foot of snow, and the snow was there for a week. First day I went out in it, driving from my house up to the road, to the main road, I passed 2 cars that hadn't made it. One of them was at 90 degrees to the road. I reversed down the steep street I live on, picked up the tow rope out the other car, drove back up the street, and, well, I didn't need to tow him out, but it was like, he'd obviously had so much trouble getting to where he was that he was at 90 degrees blocking the road. Drove past him once we got him out the way, and then saw another car that was having trouble and drove past them as well. Absolutely no issues. In fact, it drove up the steepest hill that I know of, locally anyway. Well, steepest hill that causes me problems. And as for going up to the garage with it, in the snow, it was hideously snowy up there, even a week after the roads were white, and it did what it needed to do. The other car that's running, the Kia, won't spend much time on that because used lot don't like it. Dual mass flywheel, clutch, kaput, off the road 2 weeks, not scrapped, still there, 141,000 miles, might replace this year but probably won't. The Morris, we're talking about the hibernating vehicles now. Now normally I don't hibernate the Morris, but because I got it put into the secondary storage, because I've got so many cars that I've had to expand on the new place. It was awkward getting it in, so I haven't bothered getting it out. Won't be too bad getting it out because I've got some ramps now. This year I'm going to resurrect it after winter, which is basically do a service on it and check it over. There's also a few niggling issues. So the niggling issues are going to be listed and they're going to be sorted. So look forward to a video on those. As for the bigger issues, the differential is whining. I'm going to try and replace that this year if I get the chance, or if I can find another good differential. There's a little bit of woodwork needs to be done. What that'll probably involve is me sending it somewhere to get done, i.e. Dad. He'll do it, and then I'll have some woodwork. And the wood's going to get refinished as well, because it could do with having a bit of a refinish. The other thing is the bodywork in the interior. Now the bodywork has been slowly getting worse each year. Bottom of the wings over the last couple of years have been a bit shoddy. They're getting worse. This year, before I took it on holiday, I stuck some JB Weld on and painted it just to tidy it up a bit. But yeah, they need fully repainting and repairing. I'm probably going to actually weld those up rather than getting replacements. The bottom of the door needs repair. It's been needing repair since pretty much 2 months after I got the car on the road in 2017, but it's worse and worse every year. We'll put new door bottom on, get it repainted. The bonnet's also got a few little what I would call as issues, so we'll repaint those as well. Bodywork, not urgent, but would be nice to make the car look presentable. The other thing we need to do is headlining and seats. Headlining has never been in. I think it's downstairs in my garage. The other thing is the seats. The strapping on the back of the seats have been dropped to bits and fallen out. So the driver's seat is being incredibly uncomfortable. I'm going to try and get another cover for the back of the seat because that's split completely. If not, I'm going to do what I did with the base and get a bit of vinyl and glue it together and just make it look like a porcelain green seat cover. It's a bit crap, but it works adequately. So that's what we're going to be doing with the Morris. The Triumph, we did recover from a major issue last year. It's now running quite nicely on its electric fuel pump, but does seem to be having a bit of an ignition issue. So I want to give one or two bits of that car a bit of a decent look over. So it's going to get its resurrection in service, possibly a new distributor or a distributor service. Might even give electronic ignition a try with that. Same with the Morris, actually. It could do with a bit of a tune as well, because I think it's a bit thirsty. And I'm going to have a look at that rear brake as well. The main thing about that car, though, is I need to get it back on the road so that I can enjoy it. The next car on the list is the red Beetle. Now, that hasn't been on the channel much since 2022, when it blew up a spark plug out the engine. I want to try and repair that spark plug hole, which is going to mean dropping the engine. It's an easy job, I just haven't had the time and the other space. But I'm going to make sure it's done this year when I'm resurrecting the cars. March, I'm going to start resurrecting cars. Morris and the Triumph will be done then. I might even do the Beetle. The things it needs doing with the engine is that spark plug hole, needs a new alternator, and as it's got vapor lock, very occasionally when it's very hot, I'm going to try a new fuel pump on it because apparently that's something that it needs, that can help. And it's one of the few things I haven't changed on that engine since I got the car. I've had that car since 2012. That engine's been in that car since probably the 90s. The other thing is it cuts out junctions. Hopefully the fuel pump might help that. It may be an electric issue, which it has been in the past. It may be that I need to set the carbs up when it's warm, or the choke, or something. Something's amiss, but it's just getting it running and getting it happy again and making sure that the car's happy, getting it running. And then the other thing it needs is a cheap renovation. The paintwork isn't the best. There's a big patch on the top where the paint's peeled off, similar on one of the wings, on the inner wing, sorry. What we'll do is we'll get that sorted and we'll put some rattle can paint on just to keep it on the road for a few more years before I decide to maybe give it another full restoration. And by a few more years, we're probably talking another decade. Done the cars that are technically on the road. Now we're going to look at the projects. We've got the Beetle. the Blue Beetle. Now you've been watching progress. It's not been much progress since the last video. The engine's in. It's got a few little things to do. I mean, it's got the fuel tank in, but it needs bolting down, and quite a few of the little bits and bobs need doing before we can start it. I'm going to try and get those done tomorrow. That'll probably be the next video on the channel. And once I'm happy with that, we'll get the brakes sorted, make sure they're okay and happy, so that means that the car's running, driving, it goes, it stops, changes gear. So that's the main things that a car needs to do. After that, we'll start doing all the fun stuff. Bolt the wings on, bolt the other panels on, get the lights working, get the ancillaries working, put some seats in, drive it off down the road. Job's a good one. The other car's the Marina. Well, what I say with this is progress is progress. There's one video ready to go out, which I'll probably put out at some point, about the inner wing. I'm also halfway through fitting the new sill. Once the new sill's fitted and welded on, needs a little bit of work on the front floor pan and around about the inner sill and where the inner wing joins to the inner sill. It's just little bits of things that haven't been done when the last person was welding it up, which is, part of getting to a point. I'm just continuing on from that point. Once that's done, 2 wheel arches at the back, and then the bottom outer side of the boot. Hopefully the aim is to have the welding done this year. I might have more done this year, but I want the welding done. I want it painted and looking protected and maybe relatively smart by the end of the summer. It's hopefully not going to take that much effort to get to that point. Then going forward from there, I want to sort of give it a bit of a mechanical makeover and sort of get it back up and running on the road. Anyway, that's a relatively comprehensive few things to look forward to. Other plans for the year: I've got me a new channel, Driven Mad Road Trips. I'm going to do some little road trips with that and put them out. And it's more directed at people that like going out and doing day trips and stuff like that, or longer adventures. The car's really just a theme. The other thing, I want to go to more car shows this year. Local ones, national ones. Suggestions are welcome. There's one point I want to make. I want to go to VW shows this year, 1 or 2 of them. I'm going to try and get to Volkspower this year, which may mean I miss British Leyland Day at the British Motor Museum. So if there's any other car shows down that way that you think I should go to that are pretty decent and, my sort of car show, the sort of cars I have, I'm hopefully going to try and get to Festa de Lira Exceptional. I'm open to suggestions as well. And if there's anything you'd like to see more of on the channel, let us know. So I'll see you hopefully next week. Maybe it's not. Might see on the other channel. So like, comment and subscribe to help the algorithm, and I shall see you on the next video.